And you don't think the lights will help at all, huh?
I've got really pure that we want to verify.
No, it's whatever you say.
I just wanted to say, it's actually really good back in here. See how I exposed it back there. That's what, when you come this way, then it's over. It actually looks good through the lens. Yeah, it's the right color. Because if you turn on the lights, you'll turn orange or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that are going to work with this wonderful horse, I'm going to do some things just to walk you through the premises, the procedures that I use for each of the things that we do on a normal ride. And certainly as you ride him for Neil, exercise him, and all of the things that you need to do, each of the things that I'm going to show you are basically the only things that you need to do on a given day to exercise him. We are not going to send him over asking that he be trained to do more of this or more of that. That's not it at all. Just to keep him where he is, going like he goes normally. But it's your right to know where the buttons are, where the levers are, how to ask him to do the things that we do. This is an attempt to get you fully informed. This is the equipment, and when we're finished we'll talk a lot about the equipment, but just to give you an introduction to it, it's a Western saddle. It has a pad under that Navajo, the Navajo being this one. It'll be a different color one that you get in England. And then underneath is a Cavallo pad, and you'll get that too. And we have Neil's saddle, the bit and bosal that we use on Hawk, and the bosal comes out above the curb strap, or like this, not out here, but back here. The bit goes on as you see it. The headstall is all set for him, and the breast collar is set for him, and we'll talk about how it comes off. He has splint boots on, which I don't have for him, but possibly I can get a pair before they ship him, and then he'll have splint boots as well, or protective boots on the legs. So I'll get started here. Each time that you get on him, whether you think you need to or not, I would like to ask you to take him to the place where you get on from the block, because it's much easier, and have him come up to you, just like Zim does now. You can bring it now. We'll cut there. You can cut it too, because I don't want you to have to do a lot of editing. And okay, I just want to point out that the breast collar is in the last notch, or the shortest notch on each side, and that fits him well. That's where I like it to fit, and the center is right in the center, so that's good. When I take that down, I'll show you how I put it over the saddle. But I'm going to go to the mounting block now and let you see that he operates at the mounting block the same as Zim did, but maybe even better, because he's a little bit more ambitious. Just like that. If you cluck loud or squeak loud, he'll move right over. If he doesn't move over well enough for you, and he stands out there sort of not responding to you, let me show you that you can come up here like this, and then pick up the end of the rein, and you can just slap the saddle a little bit, and that'll wake him up and send him over to you. And that was very good there. And then I'll get on, and I've got Neil's stirrups here, and I'm not going to cut. I've got Neil's stirrups here. I didn't change the stirrups. And Neil sort of vacillates because it's a new saddle and it's still going through the breaking in process. And he'll be in the 3 or 4 hole, maybe 3 on one side and 4 on the other. But when he rides it, he'll be able to adjust that for you. If each time you ride, you put it back where Neil rides with him, it's easy when he comes. And then he doesn't get on and find himself like a jockey and then have to change it. Now, Hawk is a very, very simple horse to deal with. He is so cooperative and so generous, you don't have to do that much. Please recognize that I'm riding with long stirrups and I don't typically ride like this, but just watch Hawk now. And if you just bring your legs together a little bit, you can cause a faster walk. If you're riding him out on the polo fields or out the back on the trail and you sit your backside down like this, really sit down like this, and you bump him here on the elbows, you'll get a very fast walk out of him. If he trots, school him back, and he's trained that if you sit down and just relax and just let your feet sort of find his elbows like this, one side and then the other, bump, 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 he'll walk about 5 miles an hour, which is very good for Western horses. It's a very fast walk. School him when he trots and then just bump, 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 bump. I'm going to come right back at the camera. I'm going to school there and back him up. And if he trots, you should school. We haven't done this for a long time with him, so he's a little rusty on this walking business. But I'm going to walk right at you so that you can see the use of the legs. Like that. One and then the other. I call it bicycling. One and then the other. Now, if you want a nice little Western jog trot, we call it, jog trot. If you want that, then you're going to just bring your 2 legs together and squeeze in. You don't have to use anything from your mouth. You just squeeze in, and that's what you get, that little jog trot. Notice that when he's doing well, and I'm pleased with how he's going, the reins go right down like this, and you leave him alone. The reins are loose. I like to say that there's a smile in the reins when he's doing nicely, and just the weight of the reins like that will turn him. Okay. Okay. Just the weight of the reins will turn him. Here we go. Just the weight of the reins. They're loose, but I'm just jiggling them like this, and then now they're down, and he's going along beautifully. Now I'm going to make a right turn here, just with the weight of the reins. And the least pulling that you can do, the better. And this horse should be trotted for at least 5 minutes before you do any cantering. He's a heavy muscled horse, and you need to warm those muscles up a little bit before you go into a canter with him. It's a very good idea. Oftentimes, if he's had a day off, and I want you to know this and note this, if he's had a day off, he really wants to play when you first ride. So if he's had a day off and you just get on, cinch up the saddle and just jump on and say, let's go canter, he's going to play with you. He's going to buck and play and do some funny things. But you can see that's not his real way of doing things. So if he's had a day off, I suggest that you saddle him and release him in the riding arena there and let him play for a while and then get on him. If you don't and he plays with you, then that becomes a habit of playing with the rider on, which is not what I want for Hawk at all. We don't want to get into this business of him thinking he can just play around with you when you're riding. When you're riding, he has to be safe and serious. Now, for a moment, if I can just talk about his headset. This is a nice headset that he's giving me right now. I'm pleased with it. That's not. And then I just jiggle it down. And jiggling it down means I just pick up the reins and bump, bump, bump like this, right, left, right, left. And at the same time, as I do this, I squeeze a little bit with my legs so that I keep the forward momentum going, the speed going, the same speed all the time. If I just pick it up without using my legs, then I'm going to stop him probably or have him come back to the walk, which is not what I'm after. So I just automatically bring my legs together when I do that, and then the head comes down and he's nice. So I've jogged him now for 4 or 5 minutes, and it's okay to go ahead and canter. But first, if I'm training properly, I'm going to come around and do the same trot to the other direction, because every horse should be worked each day about the same length of time in each direction. It has a lot to do with the muscles and how they work. And if you're building up, if your habit is to go one way too much, then you're building up muscles on one side too much. And you're neglecting the muscles on the other side. But you can see that he's very cooperative in staying in this nice little jog with the head down. Everything is okay. And now we've gone to the left enough just as an example for you. And we'll talk about how we want to stop him. That head's up too high. I'm going to squeeze a little bit and drop the head down, like that. Now I'm getting ready to stop, and it means that I'm going to sit down, feet ahead, say whoa, and then pick up the reins. Whoa. And then I'll take a step back. And you can see how light he is and how he comes off that bit. And then he should stand perfectly still with the reins down. Don't just keep hold of him all the time. That's telling him he's not doing something right. I know the polo ponies and the dressage horses and the show jumping horses, they're pulling on them all the time. I'm not going to criticize that because that's the way they do it. But there's a lot more handling of the English horses than there is of the Western horses. With the Western horses, you would like it if you didn't have to pick up the reins at all, and if you could just think about what you want them to do, and they would do it. That's not possible, but the closer you can get to that, the better off you are. Okay, let's talk about the canter now, because we're going to go into the canter, and I want you to use the cues that I use so that we'll all be consistent. When Neil comes to ride him, he can do what he is supposed to do, and the horse will canter. And he will canter on the proper lead. We don't need to be doing a lot of figure eights and speed work and all of that. It would be good during your exercise process if you just cantered a long way, slow, and nice long reins without a lot of arguing or bickering with the horse, anything like that. Okay, so I'm just going to walk along in the normal way. Now I'm going to put pressure with my right leg and cluck. And there's the left lead. So he automatically goes into the canter and takes the left lead when I squeeze with my right leg and then make that kissing sound with my mouth. And you can see how long the reins are now and how easy it is for him to just canter along in a very, very relaxed fashion. If he picks his head up too much, I'll just pick up the reins, squeeze with the legs a little bit to maintain the speed I'm going. There comes his head. So I'll take it down, down, and then turn him loose. Nice. Now I'm getting ready to stop for you, so I'm going to do the same stop that we did from the trot. Sit down. Whoa. and leave the reins down. Now that canter might have been for a mile, or a half mile is probably more appropriate on one lead and a half mile on the other lead. And in kilometers, in kilometers, you'd be going about a kilometer at a canter in each direction. Would be a nice day for him, and then just ride at a walk afterward for a kilometer or two, and then you can take off the tack and you've done your day of exercise. That's a pretty good workload for him. So now I'm going to squeeze with my left leg and get the right lead. No. We'll go back and do that again. We're not without the capability of making a mistake. So he took the left lead. I'm just going to pick up the left rein a little this time. Put my left leg on. Well, look at you. That's another left lead. I'm going to go right from here. Left leg on. There it is. And I'm going to stop right over here and repeat that several times. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Bring his head down after you stop. And then release the reins. If I want the right lead, the left rein wants to be a little bit tighter, like this. And the left leg on, and then the mouth. What are you doing? There. He loves the left lead way more than the right lead. Everything he does shows him to be left-handed. Here we go again. There. Whoa. Good. Now I'll try it again. Left rein up, left leg on, and then perfect. If I'm going around and I want more speed now, then it would be with the left leg, my left leg. If he's going a little bit too slow and I put my left leg on, I'm going to get more speed like this. But if I put both legs on, I might get a lead change, and I don't want that. So the left leg on maintains the right lead and picks up the speed. Whoa. Nice. Good boy. And I'll do that same thing going to the left. So I want now the canter on the left lead. I'll tighten the right rein a little. Right leg on. I didn't even have to use my kiss, but I'll do it again just to show you. Whoa.